Your brain hates missing information, so when something is unclear, it doesn't wait, it guesses. And sometimes those guesses can be pretty wild. Have you ever stared at a static image, maybe an optical illusion, and sworn you saw it moving, shimmering, or crawling? You blink, you look again, and it's still happening. It's a strange feeling, right? It might seem like your eyes are playing tricks on you, but what's really happening is far more fascinating. It's not your eyes that are failing, it's your brain improvising. Welcome to the world of predictive perception, where what you see isn't always what's actually there. Your visual system is an incredibly sophisticated piece of biological engineering, but it's not a passive camera simply recording the world. Instead, it's an active interpreter, constantly working to make sense of a messy, incomplete stream of information. To keep your perception of reality stable and seamless, your brain is constantly filling in the gaps. Most of the time, this process works perfectly. You don't notice the blind spot in each of your eyes because your brain just papers over it with what it expects to see. But sometimes, this brilliant predictive mechanism gets it wrong, and that's when things get interesting. It starts creating motion that doesn't actually exist. So how does this happen? Let's dive into the neuroscience behind how the brain predicts motion. Our visual system is built for efficiency, processing every single pixel of information that hits our retinas in real time would be incredibly slow and energy intensive. There's a slight delay between light hitting your eye and your brain actually processing that signal. To compensate for this lag and allow us to interact with a fast-moving world like catching a ball or dodging a car, our brain has evolved to become a prediction machine. It uses past experiences and established patterns to anticipate what's going to happen next. Think of it like this. Your brain is a master of pattern recognition. It's seen a ball fly through the air thousands of times. It knows the arc, the speed, the way it behaves. So when it sees a ball at pointa, it doesn't just register its position. It instantly calculates its likely trajectory and predicts where it will be at point B a fraction of a second later. This is visual prediction in action. It's why you can smoothly track a moving object with your eyes. Your brain is essentially showing you a live broadcast that's a few milliseconds ahead of the raw data it's receiving. This predictive power is crucial for survival, but it's also the very reason we see motion where there is none. When you look at certain static patterns, especially those with high contrast, repeating elements like black and white checks, or specific arrangements of colors and shapes, you're basically feeding your brain a signal that it misinterprets. These patterns can accidentally trigger the same neurons in your visual cortex that are responsible for detecting actual movement. Let's break down a classic example, like the rotating snake's illusion. This illusion features circles of scales with a specific sequence of colors, say black, blue, white, and yellow. The way these colors are arranged tricks the motion-detecting cells in your brain. Neurons that are tuned to detect motion in one direction get excited by one part of the pattern, while neurons tuned for the opposite direction get inhibited. The net result is a strong, persistent signal that says, hey, this thing is rotating. Your higher-level cognitive brain might know it's a still image, but the low-level visual processing parts are screaming movement. And in the battle of perception, these low-level signals often win. Your brain, in its constant effort to make sense of the world, chooses the interpretation that the motion is real. It's making a visual assumption based on conflicting data. This isn't a bug, it's a feature of our human visual system. The brain is making a calculated bet. It's more efficient to assume motion and be wrong occasionally in a harmless illusion than to process everything from scratch and risk being too slow in a situation where speed matters. The brain is constantly filling in missing information to create a coherent narrative. For example, if you briefly see a cat's head poke out from behind a sofa, and then its tail appear at the other end, you don't perceive it as two separate events. Your brain automatically fills in the motion of the cat walking behind the sofa, even though you never actually saw its body. You perceive a complete, continuous event because your brain decided that was the most logical explanation. The same principle applies to these motion illusions. Your brain receives a confusing jumble of signals from the static image. Instead of presenting you with that confusing data, it defaults to a familiar pattern, movement. This is a fundamental aspect of perception psychology. We don't just see with our eyes. We see with our brain's expectations and models of the world. Our perception is a construct, a best guess hypothesis that is constantly being updated. This process of prediction goes even deeper. It's not just about motion. Your brain predicts shapes, colors, and even sounds. It's why you can read a sentence even if some of the letters are jumbled, or understand a friend speaking in a noisy room. Your brain is filling in the blanks. Neuroscience perception studies show that our brains are prediction engines at their core. Every experience you have refines the models your brain uses to predict the future. The more you're exposed to certain patterns, the more likely your brain is to see them, even when they aren't fully there. So when you see these illusions, you're getting a rare peek behind the curtain of your own consciousness. You're witnessing your brain's predictive mechanisms in action. It's a powerful reminder that our experience of reality is not a direct one-to-one recording. It's a carefully crafted story, written and directed by our own predictive brain. What's really mind-blowing is that this happens all day, every day, without us ever being aware of it. The world you walk through feels solid, stable, and real. But under the surface, your brain is working tirelessly, making billions of tiny predictions per second, smoothing over gaps, stabilizing shaky images, and anticipating the flow of events. It's editing reality on the fly to give you the most useful and coherent experience possible. The motion illusions are just the rare moments where the editing process becomes visible. Ultimately, your brain doesn't show you reality as it is. It shows you what it thinks makes the most sense based on a lifetime of experience and the wiring it's been given. And most of the time, it does such an amazing job that you never, ever notice the difference. You just experience a seamless, predictable world. So the next time you see a picture that seems to wiggle or spin, don't question your eyes. Instead, take a moment to appreciate the incredible, predictive power of the brain that's creating that experience just for you. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of your own mind. See you in the next one.